and she accepted. She came to our house.
In fact, there was no debate at all among us during the council meeting. We'll fight our battles in Brussels. Moreover,
at the same time, there are still areas where we need to improve our performance. The foundation of our debate's conclusion was the extremely valuable work of Mario Draghi. A year ago, I asked him to compile such a report on the competitiveness of the European Union. It was completed during the next cycle and was exceptionally well received, as it became evident in recent months. And there was a broad consensus that we should continue working based on it. The sense of urgency has increased even more. It's impossible to describe this fully in this way. I would just give a small preview and highlight 3 priorities. The first thing that emerged from the report is that we need to close the innovation gap with our competitors.
Hello. I am glad you accepted our invitation. First of all, I would also like to condemn, on behalf of Hungary, the anti-Semitic riots that took place in Amsterdam.
This is unacceptable for us Hungarians as well.
You are now in a city, and this is for the foreigners, where perhaps Europe's largest synagogue and the city's largest Catholic cathedral are essentially just a stone's throw away from each other. And this proximity also symbolizes our city. This is a meeting place. It is a meeting place of different cultures, east, west, north, and south. And this makes it particularly tolerant. That's why we live here in Budapest in peace and security together. And I wish for the people of Amsterdam to achieve the same. You also know that the European Council held an informal meeting in Budapest. Hungary was already the rotating president of the European Union 11 years ago. But there was no informal summit in Budapest at that time. So this is the first such occasion. It is an honor for us to have hosted the leaders of the Union.
Just to prevent them from appealing unnecessarily, that's why...
I would like to state up front that it is well known to all of us that there are serious political conflicts between the European Union Commission and Hungary. I also have disagreements with the President.
But now von der Leyen is our guest. We invited her, and she accepted. She came to our house.
And the guest received courteous treatment.
The welcome and the officer...
That's why there was no sharp debate regarding the main topic here, which was competitiveness. There was complete agreement.
And there was something between us.
The Hungarian presidency set the goal of focusing all our efforts on competitiveness. The plan was to create a competitiveness pact, an agreement, a Budapest Declaration, and after months of work, we achieved this. I would like to thank my own colleagues. To the chairman of the committee and his colleagues, to my friend Charles Michel and his colleagues, and to Mr. President Mario Draghi, who prepared the report. It took the work of many people for us to accept a joint document which will place competitiveness at the center of our work for the next 5 years.
The facts.
Did you know? The growth of the European Union over the past 2 decades has consistently been more than that of China or the United States. Productivity here in Europe is growing more slowly than that of our competitors. The European Union's share in global trade is decreasing, and the companies of the European Union, they pay 3 times higher electricity prices than their competitors in the United States. For natural gas, in the case of natural gas prices, it is 4 times higher. It is no exaggeration to say that the Budapest Declaration states that immediate action is needed. I will now outline a few important points of this declaration to you. First, we have resolved to carry out a revolution in simplification.
Decreases when the
As a first step, by the end of the first half of the year 2025, we will drastically reduce the number of reporting obligations, which place a heavy burden on
European
companies. We have decided to adopt urgent measures to reduce high energy prices.
I'm coming next spring.
We decided that we will also formulate a genuine industrial policy in the upcoming period. We all agreed and pledged, reaffirming that by the year 2030, we will allocate 3% of the European gross domestic product to research and development. We decided to fully implement the Capital Markets Union. Madam President also mentioned that the savings of European people, the total amount is higher than that of Americans.
Europeans keep their money in banks.
Banks, let's go.
However, they are not structurally suited to finance various high-risk, high-tech investments. Therefore, we need to transfer bank deposits into financial funds and convince our citizens to do this so that these funds can be more easily used for innovative economic solutions. We are taking significant steps for this purpose. We decided to establish a European defense industrial base. We agreed that competitiveness will be the focus for the next 5 years. We also agreed that for every new legislative proposal, an assessment must be prepared, which we call a competitiveness test, so that for every new regulation, we can see what impact it has on competitiveness. The committee chair said they agreed with the council members that at European Council meetings, we will regularly return to the issue of competitiveness. I am optimistic at the end of today's conference. I felt that no one wants to manage decline, but we all want to make Europe great again. Know that the Americans have decided to make America great. There is only one possible European response to this. We will make Europe great.
Well, responding to the first part of the first question, we established Ukraine's financial support very thoroughly and carefully. We are talking about the 50 billion fund. We are talking about the fund, plus there is also the loan from the Group of 7, which it will be a very important tool and provide relief for Ukraine until the year 2026.
We shoot at the legs.
All partners of the Group of 7 will fairly contribute their share to this $50 billion fund.
Enjoy your meal.
But what I consider even more important, and we must discuss this with our American friends, is that Russia does not only pose a threat to Europe, but to global security, to the security of the entire world. Because Russia is not just an autocrat. It's not a democratic system that threatens democracy and democratic systems, but it increasingly aligns with others, with Iran, North Korea, and together with China, it fuels and propels that war. And we need to make this clear to our American friends, as Russia uses Chinese and Iranian technology on the 6 fronts. And this also shows that the security of the Pacific region, the security of the region and the security of Europe are interconnected. And this is also in the interest of the United States. I would just like to say 2 things from my perspective.
This was a nice little gathering with good outcomes. And I have a few more surprises up my sleeve. But we did not come together to discuss those. We still have 2 months ahead of us. And I hope we will achieve significant results by then. The first question is, How much time is needed for you to feel that what we decided here has led to results?
My answer is 6 months.
So on July 1st, 2025, we need to be standing here or somewhere and be able to say that we set goals, some of which we have completely achieved, and certain goals we have prepared for on time.
We've reached a critical point, and this must be seen and felt by the companies. 6 months, I think we have no more time.
Emmanuel Macron, the president of the French, is a bit optimistic. I think we also have 2 years, or rather, I think we have 6 months, and it's possible to make noticeable decisions in 6 months.